Hey guys, what's up? Spenny here. So bringing you some super good news on Palantir. We absolutely smashed earnings, and I was predicting a beat on earnings. I thought we would report anywhere between 332 and 350, and we came out right smack in the middle. So we reported 49% revenue growth. That is massive for this company's valuation. I'll show you guys in just a second why Palantir is actually super fairly valued as a growth stock. So I will get into that in just a second. And as they release more information on their earnings, I will dig deeper into their financials and report on it for you guys. So if you want to see content like that, make sure to subscribe to this channel to see that. So with the revenue growing at 49%, the thing that I really like in this report is that their commercial revenue grew 72% and the government revenue grew 83%. So they're both growing. One isn't lacking over the other. These are both really solid growth drivers, and that's something I really like to see when I was reading this report. Now, I do want to get into a little bit of their financial summary from what they have reported. One thing I do want to note is that we are still at a loss. So our net loss is 123 million. Still a ways away from profitability, but I'm actually predicting that we should reach profitability in the next year and a half to 2 years. If we go to their last quarter and see how they performed then, we can see we are on a path to profitability. So this was the last quarter of 2020. If we scroll down to net income, you can see here we lost 148 million. So we have actually improved. We've gone from 148 million to 123. That's about $25 million. Now, if you project that out over the next year and a half to 2 years, and if they keep up this pace of growth, which, the CEO and the company is projecting between 30 and 50% growth every year until 2025 at the very least, then we should reach that profitability in the next 2 years. And that is what I'm expecting. I'm expecting everything about this business to just improve over time. And once they reach profitability, Wall Street's going to really like this stock a lot more. Because right now, Wall Street doesn't understand this stock. They don't understand it at all, and that's why we saw an explosion in the stock price today. Because Wall Street really isn't that confident that Palantir can keep up this growth, and they don't have a good way of understanding this company and tracking it. So they're really struggling on the forecast of this company. But it basically played out exactly how I thought it was. I mentioned in a video probably a couple of weeks ago now that if we did break below this trend line before earnings, earnings could act as a catalyst to bounce us back up. And that's exactly what happened. The bounce was crazy. We're up 9% on the day, but what's crazier, we're actually up 17% when it was reported, if you see here. About 18% off that bounce. And I think it's very possible we could see an uptrend even leading in tomorrow. However, I think the macro environment and the overall stock market is probably going to dictate it. But the good thing about this is that a lot of tech companies have reported earnings over the past week. They've smashed earnings, but their stocks fell. Palantir is one of the first tech companies to report earnings and beat it and actually have a positive reaction in the share price. This just shows to me that stocks like Apple that all beat earnings, the analysts were basically already expecting that. It's already baked in the stock price. However, the Palantir, a beat on the earnings wasn't already baked into the stock price. Analysts really didn't know how to value the stock, and they didn't really know what to expect. That's kind of how I see this scenario. So really happy to see that big bounce, guys. And something to note, so with growth stocks, I do want to show you guys something here. We're growing at 50% right now, and we've kept that up for the last couple quarters, and our price to sales ratio is 34. So as long as we keep up that 50% growth rate, the valuation on this company is only going to get better over time. A really quick, easy way to look at a growth stock is that if its price to sales is 34, you should expect at least a 34% growth rate. The fact that we're growing at 50% indicates that this is actually fairly valued. Now, there is a lot more that goes into this, such as margins and that sustained growth rate. I think it's a very sustained growth rate over the next 4 to 5 years. So yeah, I think that this company is just going to get cheaper over time, and profitability is probably only a couple of years away. Now, another thing I do want to mention is that Palantir during their earnings call said that they are considering the idea of adding Bitcoin to its balance sheet. And they also accept Bitcoin as a form of payment. I think this is just another catalyst that's going to be positive in the future. And as a long-term shareholder, if you believe Bitcoin, then this is definitely a positive. I certainly believe Bitcoin. It was my largest holding at one time. I made about 500% on it in 2 months, and I sold a bunch of it. But I think Bitcoin is a great long-term asset that has a very asymmetrical looking return if you hold it for 10 plus years. And if you're in Palantir for the long term, what you should be, again, this is just a positive that's going to help boost their profitability most likely into the future. Anyways, guys, that's all I have for today's video. Just a quick update on the earnings. I am going to be digging deeper into their financials as they release more information on this. So if you want to see that, make sure to subscribe to this channel. Anyways, thanks for watching till the end. I'll see you guys on the next video.